Cry, our beloved country. What's happened to South Africa, our land? Those are some of the sentiments of South Africans, young South Africans in particular, as they continue to watch and shock everything that continues to happen in our country. Sinibingelela sinamukele namhlanje ku-Expressions igama ngumxolisi wakwaMasango. What a sad way for us to kickstart August kuyinyanga yabantu besifazane, where conversations around empowering women should be had in essentially. Kodwa ke kanjalo we're hearing of stories of how women are raped in the country. Just this past week we heard of how 8 women were gang raped while they were shooting a music video in the Western village at Krugersdorp. What is happening to South Africa? Namhlanje see Expressions umbuzo omkhulu kohlelweni. Siyabuza ukuthi, is the South African Police Service really doing enough to ensure that the perpetrators of sexual crimes are brought to book? As we speak right now, we understand that the women who were raped and robbed are of course still reeling from this and are just between the ages of 19 and 37 and are still reeling from the trauma. The police have since, of course, launched a manhunt to make sure that these perpetrators are brought to book. What's happened to our country? But first, let me also just quickly introduce my guests. It's great to have you on the program today under the circumstances. Mara Glennie is founder of the Tears Foundation. Mara, I'm so sad that we have these conversations every time something like this happens, but welcome to the program once again. Nicolene is the chairperson of the West Village Community Forum. Thank you so much for joining us on the program, as well as Tyrone Michael Gray, who's the executive mayor of the Mohale City Local Municipality.
Thank you.
Great to have you on the program. Tyrone, what's happening in your area?
Well, I don't think it's only unique to Mohale City. This crisis is facing our country at large in every corner of the country, from Ekurhuleni to Johannesburg to places like the Northwest. We have a crisis on our hands, and it has been a crisis developing for the better part of the last decades.
Nicolene, would you agree with what he's saying? I've seen you, how passionate you are. And worst of all, you are also, a victim. Talk to us about your accounts and how it is right now in your community, because you have first-hand accounts.
I do agree with the Honorable Mayor. This has been a problem that has been going on, and I think it's because we had allowed it to go on. Those that are in power had gave a platform for it. They created a conducive environment for the perpetrators to keep on hitting the women in South Africa, to keep on destroying lives. And now we're talking about this. In our community, it's a bit of a surreal moment that finally we are heard, that we are able to now put an end to this. However, we also do know that in South Africa there is no consistency. Our fears is that when all this is done, now what? Are we going to go back to normal? As we know that within the police force itself, there has been attributes as to leading to this. Will the minister change the way that he's done things? I mean, he's been in communities, one community after the other, and no help has come. Instead, the crime rate keeps on a high, keeps rising on a high.
Mara, the statistics on rape in the country are shocking as we speak. Talk to us about how Tears Foundation comes in, because I know me and you have spoken about the healing process. These young women are now traumatized and scarred for life.
Well, you never heal from it. You learn to live around it, to grow bigger. So that's the sad part. As every member of the community is scarred from this movement, as every person in South Africa is scarred, I agree with your words. Cry, the beloved country. And as an organization that helps rape victims, many of my staff cry daily. So I want to put a call out there to everybody that was involved in this, that needs help. We understand your need and we are here for you. You can call us. Our organization is called Tears.
Tyrone, I want to know, because we have community members here who are going to be venting their frustrations on this platform. I want to know from you, have there been any efforts to ensure that, there's at least safety in the community? Because some of the residents that we've been speaking to here are telling us that it's been a long time coming.
No, 100%, you're correct. And many of the residents I know personally. There's been times when I've had to personally escort Miss Trom to her house after an IDP, because as we're having the IDP, someone was shot that very time. West Village in particular has been severely neglected for a number of years. The community can indeed tell you this, but no longer. So what we've specifically set up is a STORM Section 79 committee. It stands for Strategic Tactical Operations Response Management, and it's unique in terms of council committees, as it's a form of grey power, not because of my surname, but because it allows co-opted members of the public to serve on an ad hoc basis. So for instance, when we do operations, we will consult with members of the community to say where are the hotspots, how we're going to execute the program and create a more safe and conducive environment.
So we are also told, and we've seen on all the reports that have been happening, that the area is not really tended to. It's a very bushy area. Why hasn't not been sorted out? Why isn't the grass cut?
So some of the areas, the grass is numerously long. The reason being is we can't use conventional grass cutting methods there. It's why the fire station has started the program of controlled burnings. The one issue is that we try to do a controlled burning earlier in the year, but because of the rain season in Mogale City rain till very late, we're unable to even use accelerants. Then our municipal budgets are effective from the 1st of July, and we have started the procurement.
But this is an emergency, are you aware?
Yes. No, definitely it is an emergency, but we also can't jeopardize other people's lives by not doing an adequately controlled burn. It was very windy in certain parts, and then we also needed to ensure safety of the surrounding community.
Nicolette, do you want to come in quickly?
Oh, yes. When we approached the mayor's office, it was February, when a number of deaths have been reported, a number of rapes and robberies that have been going around. We approached the mayor. The mayor then said the grass will be cut in a week's time. That didn't happen. When we approached him, we said, the community can give manpower, just give us resources. We were not expecting the mayor to go out of his way. All we had needed at the time was resources, up to the point whereby we kept on pushing with the mayor's office, where we were told that there is no budget. We personally said that, can we then give us a permission to speak to the National Treasury? If you need to motivate, a letter of motivation for you to be given the budget, then we will do that as a community, because we are the ones that are affected.
Okay, Nicolene, we'll come back to your point as well, and I also want to get a response from you on that one, Tyrone, because it seems like, the community did make efforts to reach out to your office. And of course, Mbugelo Expressions, is the South African Police Service doing enough to bring the perpetrators of sexual violence to book? What do you have to say? We're back after this. You're still with us right here on Expressions. Is the South African Police Service doing enough to bring the perpetrators of sexual crimes to book? And this is at the back of Western Village, Krugersdorp last week, where we've seen 8 young women gang raped when they were shooting a music video. Namalungu mphakathi today, who are also here, as well as vent some of their frustrations on the platform. A very warm welcome to Expressions. It's great to have you. Let's perhaps start with you, Siswam. You're a resident as well. Perhaps just step to the mic so you can make your point.
I'm a community activist, and I'm found in different communities in South Africa. And I think what we see that it becomes a them versus them contestation, right? Politicians will come and basically have a PR spin-off, and our residents are obviously going to come and point fingers at the relevant stakeholders. But we see that it's basically has become like an episode. We're waiting for the next thing to happen so that we can come again to expression, and it can be another episode of who did what and who's not doing what. It has become quite unfortunate that even as we sit right now, the SAP is has basically pulled a PR stunt or spin-off, because they've been lying. We have 80 people right now who are said to be in jail or in custody, but there's no even clear charge in terms of, are they charged for the rapes of these young women whose lives have been ruined as we speak, or are they charged, or are we trying to find out if they're South African nationals or not? South Africa is deemed and is by the day being taken like it has become a criminal syndicate, and it's unfortunate that we are sitting here and pointing fingers at each other rather than having proactive measures against such criminality in our country.
All right. Okay. So, Budmandla, let's bring you in as well. I know you also now now. Please go ahead, Budwami.
Yeah. I think, as the Honorable Mayor have said, it's not only the issue of US Rand. It's the whole country's issue, especially when you look at these old mining dumps and these neglected spaces that are happening all over the country. You can go to Soweto and Durban Deep, it's the same situation. You go to Benoni, it's the same situation. We always wake up, there's bodies lying down, because even those criminals, they fight amongst themselves and it affects the communities. But the SAPS, and I think the minister way is, he should be ashamed. He should be ashamed. He shouldn't even actually be promising people he shall do things. I mean, in a few space of time, what has happened in the country, people are getting killed, and this was the worst. Young girls broken their virginity in so sad, some of them even begging to these criminals. But the minister has a nerve to come and pull a stunt, as my sister said, that we always get these stunts. We had it in Soweto. We already have people that are, but there's no action happening. And what we are saying is that the government, mining companies have left these hovels where criminals are there and they're hunting people. They are not being held responsible, because I can see we're pointing fingers at the government, of which they are the ones who allow these mining companies to get away with the crime. And lastly, I think SAPS as an institution, I'm sorry to say it, it's an institution with criminals in uniforms. Because rape cases, even if you report it, murder or what, as long as they can get money out of it, nothing will happen. And if we haven't cleaned the SAPS in the whole country, we're still going to have more of these incidents.
All right. And we also understand that indeed as well, even the sales and property sector was affected by this. Ma'am, please quickly come and step up and make your point on the microphone, or perhaps even anyone there at the back as well. Buti? Yes.
Community members in the area is really struggling because they want to sell property or buy affordable property, but it's too dangerous for them to go there. And I think some of the banks are also not going to give them bonds anymore in those areas because it's too dangerous. They're putting their people at risk.
Indeed. Sir, please come on and step forward and make your point as well. I understand you were at some point a patroller in the area and there were issues, lots of issues. Talk to us about the area in particular.
Okay. Yes, I was a former patroller. Our area at this stage is crime-ridden. Last year alone, we picked up 34 bodies, which is unacceptable. This year, up until May, another 11. Our SAPS is failing us, seriously. So, what do we do? Are we ready back to the old Western ways? Or the Wild Wild West has been open up again? Or are we going to a more civilized society? That's my point.
Okay, let's also bring you in as well. Do you want to come and make your point? Okay, all right. Community members, you can step up onto the microphone because this is your platform as well. Go ahead, sir.
Our police service in Krugersdorp,
yes,
they are not saving us at all. What happened, perpetrator is been caught today. Tomorrow he will be walking out. When you ask, he will say, I've paid 10,000. That means they are paying them. They are on their payroll. Nothing is happening to them. As I'm speaking now, I might get home, they will be waiting for me. Nothing will happen to them. A young baby of about, she's 4 years old. She narrated a story what happened to her mother and her father on a night. A gang of guys with guns They cut that baby's hand because they wanted to rape her mother. And they managed. They took the mother to the bush. They raped her. They said it was 4 guys. The father was beaten to hell. That baby, she doesn't want to go home, even today. When you meet that baby on the street, you ask her, baby, are you going home? She said, no, I'm not going there. She sleeps somewhere in the village at Adamakoko. She's taking care of her. So the perpetrators are well known. One was taken away for about a week to custody. He is out today. They said they can't find him guilty. There is no evidence. So many people who open cases against that very same guy, they are crying today because if they report the guy will be out or he won't be taken because he pays. He's a well-known guy.
Mzansi Africa, what do you have to say ngale nkulumo esinayo namhlanje ohlelweni? We have our residents West Village, Krugersdorp, at the back of that heinous rape of 8 girls who were raped last week when they were shooting a music video. What do you have to say about le nkulumo esinazo namhlanje ohlelweni? Siyabuya after this. Stay with us. You're still with us right here on Expressions. What do you have to say ngeinkulumo esinazo namhlanje ohlelweni, where we asking namhlanje, are the South African police doing enough to make sure that perpetrators where sexual crimes are brought to book? Tyrone, you heard the community members are saying that some of them are not even surprised that the rapes happened because they feel it's been a long time coming. What solutions do you propose as a mayor of the area?
So this is one of the exact solutions we're having. At the end of the day, SAPS will never have enough resources to correctly safeguard our communities. And this is why we've mobilized the Storm Committee so that public safety, private security, members of the community are able to empower and keep themselves safe. Because at the end of the day, the community is the best placed asset in keeping themselves safe.
Let's bring one community member before we wrap the conversation up. Maybe, my sister, you can quickly step up and just give us solutions that you'd like to see in your area.
I think it's definitely going to be a matter of the community stepping up. We don't afford to be bystanders anymore in our own communities. I think also just staying away from grandstanding. I think we are sick and tired of politicians grandstanding in our communities, and what we need now is proactive solutions to our problems in our communities.
Nicolene?
I think what we need, because it's been said over and over again, SABS is the problem. I think we need to look at why SABS is the problem and nip it in the bud. Start with the recruitment process. What is done, what criteria is used, then go to the training process, then go to the resources. Why is it that SABS don't have enough resources and yet the crime keeps on rising in the country? And the communities, please stand together. Please stop complaining in your comfortable positions, in your home. Stand together. When you see a problem, approach it thoroughly. Thank you.
Mara, rape victims never come back from rape, and healing is an ongoing process. Speak to us about how do they get a hold of tears?
I think the very important thing, in line with my sister here, is that community, you need to be involved. You need to be the friend to the person who's been abused, because people ignore you and they blame you. So one of the things that they can do is call us on our helpline, which is *134*. 7355#, or you can look up tears, tears.co.za. We will come to your community. We will help you with talks, and we will help each individual victim individually, because this isn't a group solution. This is one-on-one. They must get healing. So I'm asking those victims to please ask for help. Go for counseling. You will not get better on your own. But there are thousands of people like me ready and waiting to help you.
Right, Nicolene, you know, there's something that's been lingering at the back of my head. I know I said I was going to give you an opportunity to respond fully to what Tyrone had said. I don't know if the issue with the bush now, because you as the community felt that bush there was hiding criminals, has been sorted out yet. I was going to let you continue. We still have just a bit of time, just a minute.
It's still not yet sorted out. It's still the same. But I do understand now it's August, it's windy. but there's other options that the mayor can use to get the bush totally off.
Tyrone, can we agree something will be done?
Yes, no, something has been done. It's just that specific C row is the challenging part because of the topography. So fire station will keep going every day this week, and if need be, the TLB that we're personally using at the cost of the municipality to seal off the tunnels, which is actually a competency of the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, would like some more funding to unlock the rehabilitation fund, and then if need be, we're going to have to raise that entire area and make it an open space with TLBs and back actors, all of that.
It's so sad that we must have people that are reactive instead of being proactive with dealing with these issues. Perhaps, Budmandla, we still have under a minute. Let's give us solutions as well from the community perspective as well. What solutions do you want to see in Phakathi Nwangagini?
I think first it starts with us as the community. We need to bring back the SDUs because self-defense units are the best solutions we've had. Even during apartheid, we used to use those and they were very effective. And actually, if the government would actually put in more resources to our patrollers, because I think this issue of not resourcing our patrollers, but you can pay your spies and all of that, I mean, that's not on. The intelligence of our country, they must catch a wake up. Minister, I think the minister has made so many excuses. So I think we need to deal with the minister himself. He needs to pick up his socks.
Just a few seconds. You as a person who's been proactive on the field, sir, please come on. What solutions do you want to see in your community? Quick one, please. We're out of time.
My solution is bring in the SANDF.
All right.
Bring them in.
All right. We have to thank you so much. Of course, the community of West Village in Krugersdorp. This is where the crime happened last week, where the 8 girls were gang raped when they were shooting a music video. Thank you so much for coming through and braving the elements in this weather. Thank you so much for having this conversation with us. My guests as well, thank you so much. Of course, Mara Klein is from Tears. Nicolene is the chairperson of the West Village community, as well as Tyrone Michael Gray, executive mayor, Mohale City. Thank you so much for your time. Bugile, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your participation in Nkundleni Zethu Xhumana. Till next time, nisale kahle.